This one stock can change early buyers' lives. I'm not a financial advisor, but some financial advisors might say, based on this research, to buy as much as possible before December 3rd. The ticker is EOSE, EOS Energy. They have a 90 gigawatt hour backlog of battery storage. That's what they do. So battery storage is super important for the grid. So you can store wind and solar when the wind is not blowing and the sun is not shining. So at night, or wind is blowing less during the day often. So you can store it in batteries and smooth out the power delivered so you don't waste it. And not that it really gets wasted, but what happens is certain people get charged more, certain people get charged less to take on power when there's too much generated, and it's just very inefficient. So that's what EOS helps with. They had their biggest quarterly revenue ever in Q3. There's another ticker that's also interesting. It's a semiconductor ticker, and I don't think it's been talked about as much. They do semiconductor connectivity, 200 million, 100% revenue growth year over year. So let's jump into these tickers. ALAB's gone on a pretty big run already. That's the second company. But it's leveled off. The market's been choppy the last couple weeks, and I want to investigate what stocks to look at, with these two being the best ones, in my opinion.
This is Sam Putnam.
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 Okay, so here's that 90 gigawatt hour pipeline. I didn't really know what that meant, right? I mean, we know that 20 gigawatts is a lot in terms of data centers that have to be built out. And then, Elon and Altman it's weird to say Altman, Sam Altman are throwing out weird, crazy 200 gigawatt estimates in 10 years. But for the next couple of years, I think a 20 gigawatt is what they're saying. So as for what 90 gigawatt hours means, not just gigawatt, but gigawatt hours. So I think a gigawatt hour is running a gigawatt of energy for an hour. So, 90 gigawatt hours then would be a lot, but not a ton, right? Is a gigawatt hour? Someone who's like a power engineer is going to be crying in the comments. Running a gigawatt for an hour? Seriously though, we need to figure this out. So if a data center provides 20 gigawatt, how many gigawatt hours backlog is this? So EOS Energy is the company. ChatGPT will help sort of alleviate our stupidity here. And they do battery storage. This is a little bit worrisome when you're trying to buy a stock. When they say it's risky, it's going to sell shares. There's a high chance that there's going to be shares sold into the market. And historically, there's been shares sold into the market. But at least they don't need money right now, okay? So they have 4 years of runway left. So that's significant. And if we look at the stock, this is why it looks so good. So it came up back to this sort of price agreement level around $15. It's probably going to sell off a little, right? I mean, all these stocks are probably going to sell off a bit. The market just went up 5%, which is crazy, right? Over the last week. So we're probably going to come back a little bit, maybe test this level. That would be great, to test that level and then bounce from there. We might keep chopping down. Who knows? But what I do know is that this looks like great news, that this is sloping up, although it might not go on Monday, right? Okay, so I love when ChatGPT strokes my ego. So yes, roughly speaking, it's a gigawatt for an hour. So if a data center does 20 gigawatts for an hour, that's 20 gigawatts hours of energy used. So I guess that's all of the data centers though. So it kind of makes 90 gigawatt hours not sound like a ton of batteries. It sounds like batteries are not going to be rolled out to the entirety of the data center power usage, but not even close, right? If it's 90 gigawatt hours, I'm not even going to do that. This is public math talking over a video like this, but over the course of a year, that's a lot of hours, right? So it's probably some tiny fraction of the total data center usage is going to be energy that gets stored in batteries. But anyway, so 20 gigawatt is massive, right? So maybe that's sort of an overreaction. I mean, I don't work at Sequoia. I don't work at SoftBank, so I don't have to worry about, I'm not providing debt to OpenAI. So I don't have to worry about if 20 gigawatts is actually reasonable or not. That's what Elon and Sam Altman are talking about. And I guess there are limits too on if this 90 gigawatt hours is even realistic. But sure, we can get some real world examples. As fundamental investors, we need real world examples, but we don't have to do deep fundamental research. We can kind of just say, look, because we're investing with less than high hundreds of millions of dollars, and I'm not really being facetious here. Like, if you have less than that, you don't really have to worry about understanding what this company is going to do in the next year, right? Or even a few months. Because it's $10 million, $20 million, 20 million shares times $10, $15. So we're really talking $50 million a day go into these. So you can definitely put $1 million into this without moving it at all. So if you are okay to move it a little bit, then you can put even more. But here's some examples of projects in California. This is 2.5 gigawatt hours. So I think what this means, I think I'm starting to, okay, so maybe the 90 gigawatt hours is how much it does on one charge, right? That would start to make sense. 1 gigawatt for 8 hours. Yeah, okay, that was really dumb. I'm sorry to be figuring this out in real time, but okay, so now 91 gigawatt hours is sounding like a lot again. Yeah, it says pipeline. All their projects, once deployed, that's their full charge energy storage equivalent. This is what I wanted to know. Maybe, but not automatically. Yes, battery installations could be reluctantly charged and dislodged. Throughput far greater than 91 gigawatts. However, it depends on this. It sounds like this is sort of way in the future. I know I'm talking like a, bedroom venture capitalist right now, but it does sound like kind of what I'm saying is in the right direction. That they can definitely deliver more than 91 gigawatt hours, a lot more over the course of a year. Even though ChatGPT is not willing to just come out and say that. So anyway, for our purposes, if you're not like a science head, this is probably going to pull back, sort of surf here, and then hopefully go. And if the whole market crumbles, yes, it'll probably crumble too, because in general, it had a great September, and we know September is when the market ripped, and then it's sort of chopped since then. It had this earnings jump and drop. But other than that, that's sort of what I see out of EOS. So that's the level, somewhere around 13.5, maybe this low that it could come down to, that it's sort of flirted with here. And then the other company that I've actually pulled up over here, some info about ALAB. 100% year-over-year revenue growth, 200 million. And this is what they do. They do basically semi-connectivity. So networking for semiconductor companies. So AI infrastructure demand is going to grow, data centers, and yeah, I don't want to hear about analyst reports. I don't think you want to either. You don't need price targets on that. networking's going to grow and all these optical companies are going. Coherent had a great day on Friday. Did mention that in the Discord. Of course, if it turns away and just fails to break out, then I'm going to look pretty stupid. But it does look great. It's forming higher lows. It just might have a pullback and then go. Of course, if the market completely cracks, this will completely crack probably as well. And I'll look like an idiot. But again, in general, things are looking okay. ALAB, interestingly, is back to this left side peak. So that's why it's pretty positioned well. So if you can get in here and risk really like $10, which seems like a lot, but it's not really. I mean, it could go $100. Even 50 would be pretty achievable. This company, though, if you can, this is what I wanted to investigate. If you can understand, this is 1010, and then 1023 is that up day, and then this is 1120. So let's look at that. So ALAB 1010 definitely got wrecked with the market. 1120 sort of has held here. So the market also held here, though. This was bad, though. I don't know why it was so bad here. And then on the 23rd, it definitely benefited some. So yeah, when the market has really been ripping on the 23rd of October and then recently on the 21st of November, ALAB has gone up a little bit, but not a lot. So that bodes well in my opinion. This jump up might be in advance of earnings, slightly earnings related. I mean, we saw another increase prior to earnings over here. And then this big run was during September when the SPY had a great September. So nothing here is super uncorrelated to the market. Meaning that when this pulls back, this could have a pullback back to this level, which is fine because it has this level right here to go off of. So 145 you really want to watch for this one, in my opinion. And recently, I mean, you can kind of see how I'm doing things over here. You can give your insight or you can watch like a fly on the wall, whatever. But I've got these companies sorted by sector, right? So you would expect them to be pretty similar within a sector. Maybe not so much because Open Door is a small cap and CBRE is not. Actually CBRE is a small cap. Kind of 50 billion versus 7 billion. I don't know if I can call Open a small cap at 7 billion, but it was. Then I got a bunch of money in it. Anyway, these are just singular examples of sectors, so we'll just ignore those. But as far as utilities, don't really look super interesting, right? Maybe CEG will dip back and bounce off of here, but looks kind of choppy. This is the utilities ETF. It looks interesting. If it pulls back a little bit, I don't really know how to deal with that. This is VST. This is a battery storage company. Data center related. Don't really want any piece of that. I guess they're actually independent power plant. So it's a little different. I'm just trying to give a few examples of looking through these companies to find the ones I just told you about, EOS and ALAB, and to just say, I'm not sure really, these are basically social media, not basically actually. This is a way to do it. And in general, these are not interesting. Google's overbought, I mean. Reddit could get interesting on a pullback, but it does need to pull back a little because the market's probably going to pull back. Will probably help with that. But it's nice at least to put in a red day here instead of just going straight up. And then Chinese stocks, just sort of close it out here. The Chinese ETF looks, bounced off the 200-day, but it doesn't look great. FXI is the other Chinese ETF. Big down day on 10-10, of course, because that was the China-US relations miscommunication. But not sure Baidu is really what you want to be buying right now, or Baba, or any of these Chinese stocks right now. So it wasn't easy actually even finding these stocks. But there's a reason I'm talking more about sort of, these aren't really dip buys exactly. They're more like, they are going down slightly below past levels of price agreement. So they're like undercutting. And then EOS is, I guess, undercutting this moving average, but it's coming back up to a flat base, which is a level of resistance. And then it'll probably bounce back. And then, like I mentioned, there could be an opportunity to buy down there. So I'm not sounding like I'm, a seer or anything like that. So that's just the reality of what the market looks like now. It's pretty choppy and it's probably going to pull back a little bit. So hope that helps anyway. Hope these ideas help. If you like getting some context and, the reality of the situation, hit that like button. If you want a free course on how to buy stocks before they go up, hit that subscribe. It's an hour long-ish. I'll post that in the YouTube post once a month for subscribers. We're getting to 2,000 subscribers. We're going to get there soon with your help. And then if you want one-on-one help, head over to stockscommunity.com and you can share your portfolio. You can not. It's up to you. But you'll see some testimonials over there, some people who did good. And I hope to help you over there. Take care.
This is Sam Putnam. This is Sam Putnam.
This is Sam Putnam.
This is Sam Putnam.
This is Sam Putnam.
This is Sam Putnam.
This is Sam Putnam.
This is Sam Putnam.